PBnZ Sports Chaos. PB, Sports Chaos in Boston definitely happened this weekend. Last night, or 2 nights ago, Brad Marchand, Charlie Coyle, and I think the other guy, the defenseman, Bruins have basically given up on the year. Do you agree?
Oh yeah. They're bailing.
Give up on Brad Marchand. I don't. Why would you do that?
I know he's been a staple on that team, over the last.
Last guy to win a Stanley Cup on that roster, right?
Yeah, man, he was around then in 2011.
Yes, he's the last guy to be on the cup winning team.
Wow, so he's been
So
around. He's been
Bergie was the
around the
last
block then.
last year. Then he left the second last. Bergie left
All right.
retired last year. But
Yeah,
Marchand, wow. This is like Ray Bork being sentenced to Colorado, which he won a cup. Good for him. But
yeah,
Brad already won a cup. He didn't
he
need to be
has.
traded, but he's going to the defending Stanley Cup champions, your boys, the Panthers. Does that help them?
Oh, it helps them tremendously. They need a guy like him. It's hilarious too because everybody that talks about Brad Marchand, it's always about you love him if he's on your team, you hate him if he's not, right? So he has this reputation. Nobody likes him, but now that he's on your team, and when I say your team, meaning my friends down here in Florida, keep in mind the ice arena is 10 minutes from my house. It's super close. That's why I go to a bunch of games. Yeah, and people all of a sudden they're like, one friend I text, I'm like, are you gonna love him now? And he's like, yeah, as long as he doesn't lick my ear. So, everybody knows every little thing this guy's ever done. But I think he fits in perfectly with those guys. Like, look at Sam Bennett and Sam Reinhart and Matthew Tkachuk. I mean, he has that same kind of grit to him
Yeah,
as those guys.
I
I think
agree.
he's gonna I think he's gonna fit in perfectly, and I think he's gonna help this team win another cup. Right now, is Florida the favorite? I mean, I haven't checked Vegas, but they got to be right up there and one of the favorite teams to win the cup this year.
I would agree. I mean, I still like the Avs, and I still like Calgary and Edmonton as well
Edmonton.
because
Yeah.
they have the star players. They have the best players in the NHL, right? And not in the NHL, a world today. But to your point, and I will add one thing: America's boy Matthew Tkachuk. He has to be healthy for you guys. If he's not healthy, they're not the same team. Do you agree?
I do agree with that. Yeah, but they are pretty well rounded. I mean, they also acquired a defenseman too, in a trade last week. Geez, his name has escaped me, but he's going to make a big difference. I just watched him too. I just was at the game on Monday night last week, and it was his first game playing for the Panthers. And puck moving defenseman, not as good as Matt McAvoy, but a Matt McAvoy style type player.
You think
Um,
Charlie McAvoy?
yeah, sorry. Yeah. A Charlie McAvoy type player. And yeah, Mac Chuck, I get everybody mixed up. But yeah, he's gonna help the team as well. So this team's, I'm telling you, watch out for them in the playoffs. They could end up with someone like Tampa in the first round. They could end up with, I don't know if Toronto's gonna fall or not, but that's a tough little
In
division.
Toronto with Austin Matthews, another guy considered one of the greatest players in the game, right? So we'll see. Hey, by the way, you mentioned Charlie. Charlie Coyle goes to the Avs. That's a big addition to the Avs. I know he was a solid player for the Bruins. He didn't play his best the last 2 years, but dude, that kid can play on if he's on the right line, and I think he's a great third or fourth line player. He's going to make a difference for the Avs.
I agree with that 100% as well. Right now, you have to say the Avs and the Oilers, to me, are the favorites to come out of the West. And I think it could be a repeat. It could be a Panthers Oilers Cup all over again.
I'm with you.
Panthers Avs would be a pretty exciting one too. But to me, in the East right now, Panthers are the best team.
I'm with you. I'm with you. Hey, talk a little NBA. Before we go to Hollywood, let's talk Hollywood for a minute. PB, what is your greatest favorite sports movies of all time? Give me a couple of them.
Couple of them. Well, off top of my head, since we've been talking hockey to start the show,
This happened last week. Let's do our Oscars.
you got to keep Miracle right around the top. I mean, Miracle was an unbelievable
Oh, that's a
movie.
good one. All right.
It's a great hockey movie. I love that. Just love that movie. So that's up there. If you're talking about like a dramatic type of movie, a classic that I really liked was The Longest Yard. It's a pretty old movie, but it's a classic. And if you haven't seen The Longest Yard,
With Burt Reynolds, or the second one with Adam Sandler?
no, the original one with
All
Burt
right,
Reynolds.
all right,
Yeah.
all right. I like that. Okay.
Yeah, that because that's otherwise it would be as a classic, right? That's the classic original Longest Yard movie. That's got to be up there. If you're looking for a little light humor, if you're a rom-com junkie, you gotta like Fever Pitch. That's a classic movie with Jimmy Fallon and Drew Barrymore. That's got to be up there too. So those are some of the ones that stand out to me. Different genre type of movies, but they're all really good.
You can't go that way because I was going strictly with the sports theme. And here I go. You ready for this? In honor of Gene Hackman, I truly believe Who's Jesus is my all-time favorite sports movie ever. So definitely Who's Jesus, the basketball movie, Indiana. But I also got a football. As you know, I love football. I got Friday Night Live. I'm not a Billy Bob Thornton fan, but I happen to freaking love that movie. That was awesome. And then obviously, Remember the Titans. That too was another great football movie. All followed by you gotta acknowledge this one, Rudy. How can you not forget Rudy, right?
Rudy's up there too. Yeah, yeah.
And then I know I'm picking all team sports because that's the best. You know I love it. You will love it as well. I'll give one solo sport. Rocky 1. Holy crap. Sylvester Stallone coming out of nowhere. That was a great freaking movie. Do you agree?
Yeah. Raging Bull too with Robert De Niro. That was another now you're going down the boxing road. Raging Bull is another awesome movie.
Yeah, these are the PBnZ's Oscars for all-time sports movies. Fans, take advantage of this. PB, speaking of Hollywood, tonight you got Lakers, Celtics playing one of the greatest rivalries in basketball. I can ask you one question though. That's a really great rivalry, but also tonight is Duke, North Carolina. What is a better sports basketball rivalry in your opinion?
I'd have to go with Duke and UNC, and the reason for that is because and the reason why I'm going with it is because their schools are bus ride apart. I mean, they're right down the street from each other. They're in each other's conference. They play each other all the time. They always wind up. The Lakers and the Celtics they're in different conferences. They only see each other a couple times a year.
I see. Yeah.
And then how many times have they met in the finals? Maybe a half dozen. So it's not like they've had this history, background of playing each other so many times in so many situations. I think it's the Bird and Magic era. I think that is what makes people think of it as a rivalry. But if you really get down to it, they didn't play each other. It wasn't like the Celtics and the Pistons or the Celtics and they played each other.
76ers was played every Sunday on Super Bowl Sunday, right? For a long time. That was you watched that at 12:30 and you watched Super Bowl at 6:00, right?
Yeah, right, exactly. So I think I don't even think it's a question. I think it's UNC Duke all day.
I'm with you on that. Hey, by the way, a little fun fact, DYK. This is the first time since 1985 that both of these two teams have been 1 or 2 in their conferences. Let me ask you a question. What is your favorite memory, speaking of 1985, because that's mine, what is your favorite memory from a Lakers-Celtics matchup?
Well, I was at Game 7 in 1986, I think it was. My dad got tickets.
I brought it up because I knew that.
Oh, my dad had tickets through work, and I was I was an 18-year-old kid, and he's asking me. I think it was a senior in high school. I might have been a freshman in college, and he's like, "Hey, I got tickets. You want to go to the game tonight?" And randomly out of the blue. And the funny thing is, my brother didn't like sports. He had 3 tickets. I ended up taking one of my buddies because my brother didn't even want to go. So it was me and one of my buddies. and my dad. Yeah. Uh,
Oh, I'm going to give you my favorite memory. I heard a couple today on ESPN. They were like from the 2000s, Kobe Bryant, stuff like that. No, the best friggin' memory ever is Kevin McNeil lining Kurt Williams in the '85 series, right?
I remember that. I remember that.
And to me, that's what, oh my God. I'm like, oh, it's on, right? Oh, it's on, right? So,
Yeah.
wow. All right. Hey, okay, so baby, real quick before we wrap up. Couple of things going on in the NFL right now. You got the big trade of Geno Smith going to the Raiders. You got a couple rumors out there, including DK Metcalf once out of town for the Seattle Seahawks. And then you got Joey Bosa being cut from the Chargers. What is your biggest takeaway from the last week in the NFL?
Well, teams are starting to plan out their future, and they're looking at a lot of these moves are cap related. It's not performance related. I mean, let's face it, Joey Bosa is a great player. He's been on that team for many years, and he'll
Where's
go
a good fit for
somewhere.
Joey Bosa?
What's that?
Where's a good fit for Joey Bosa right now?
Yeah, there's rumors that he could join his brother in San Francisco and be alongside Nick Bosa.
I heard that as well. Oh, man.
Yeah, that would be an interesting little defensive prowess for that team. Where else could he be a good fit? I mean, any team could use an edge rusher.
But
Anybody.
who made a trade the week before? Debo Samuel went to the Commanders. They can use an edge pass rusher for sure. Imagine him on the edge there.
Yeah, they become an instant, favorite to win the division, if not, make it to the they were in the NFC Championship game. So what reason wouldn't they be back there at that point?
I mean, and Debo Samuel's
Yeah,
going there right now. In my mind, the Commanders may be a little above Philadelphia. I hate to say it.
yeah. Hey, I can see that, especially Jaden Daniels if he matures and now he's the second year quarterback. He's three times the quarterback Jalen Hurts is.
I love Jalen Hurts to no end, but his upside is exactly what we saw last year. That's it. He's going to plateau, I think. Jaden Daniels has much more upside at the end of the day, right?
Yeah, Jaden Daniels is basically to me, he's like the next Lamar Jackson. Hopefully not the playoff history of Lamar Jackson, but the regular season, Lamar Jackson,
Yeah,
even better, because I think he has a better arm and he's more accurate than Lamar, I think, in my opinion.
I agree. So last question. Geno Smith going to the Raiders. What do you make of that?
I mean, I like it. I mean, I think the Raiders are making a move. I mean, Pete Carroll's not there to screw around. He's not rebuilding this team over the course of 4 or 5. He might not be alive in 4 or 5 years. So I don't think he's there to rebuild the team. I think they expect them to contend and make the playoffs next year. The problem with the Raiders is the division they're in. That division is. Remember, there was I think it was like maybe 3 or 4 years ago that we said the NFC West the AFC West was just loaded. We thought it was like the best division in football. And it turned out to end up being the worst, and it's been the worst and for a while now. But look at what's happened since.
Last year, are they coming? Are they coming with Justin Herbert and the Chargers, right? And you look at that.
Yeah, I mean, and then you got the Broncos now they have Sean Payton there leading the charge. And
That's
Bo
right.
Nix had a fantastic rookie year. Who knows
Huge.
what's going to happen there?
Correct.
And they're also in it to win it. They're going to be looking for a running back that can really make a difference. They're going to be looking for a true wide receiver one that could just be an alpha receiver on that team. And if they do widen their defense, they showed us they can play too. So you got that team, and then you got the Chiefs. So I mean, you're talking about Andy Reid, Sean Payton, Pete Carroll, and then Harbaugh, who's been obviously helped this team make the playoffs for that division is
Not just in football history.
Loaded.
Yeah.
Loaded. What do you think? Do you think there's a chance Kansas City could finish in last in that division next year?
I definitely think so. I definitely think so. The Super Bowl exposed stuff to me. At the end of the day, the Super Bowl exposed a lot of stuff to me. And I know Andy Reid's a great coach, blah, blah, blah. I know our boy Josh wants to promote him as the better coach than Belichick. At the end of the day, I'm not so sure, and I think he's going to be exposed this year. That's my early opinion at this juncture. And I've never been sold on Pat. He's athletic and great, blah, blah, blah. But he still is a wild card because he makes two mistakes sometimes. So we'll see. At the end of the day, Justin Herbert's the man. In my opinion, with Harbaugh, Justin Herbert, that's the team I'm fearing.
I like it. I like it.
Hey, by the way, speaking of Seattle, DK Metcalf wanted out before this trade. There's rumors he didn't get along with Geno. So where's a good landing spot for him?
The Patriots.
I
Let's go. I mean, let's go.
You could get New England to get him there. Don't you agree?
Yeah. They need an alpha receiver, someone that can, come in and help other guys get better, right?
Yeah.
He could help
Yes.
like a Demario Douglas step up and be like a true like a T Higgins to a Jamar Chase type of receiver, but you got to have that alpha there that draws coverage and things like that in order for that to happen. So DK Metcalf to me is a perfect fit. I'd love to see the Patriots go out and get like an AJ Brown or something like that as well. Maybe they can draft a guy.
You only need one of them. You need one or the other. AJ Brown or DK. You need a big physical receiver who blocks, who can catch balls in traffic, contest, and he's a presence on the field, right?
Right. Yep. And then draft a guy at the top of the second round. I'm telling you, there's going to be receivers drafted this year because the receiver class is not outstanding.
It's tough to go with a lineman. They got to take that kid from LSU. I can't remember his last name.
Will Campbell. Yeah, they got to go Will Campbell at 4. But when you pick at 36, right? You can get a good receiver at 30. This is not a deep.
Shoot. Yeah, I agree.
Everybody's kind of there's a couple guys that are going to go probably in the top half of the first round. After that, to me, it's wide open. Like I like a guy like I don't know if you know Restrepo. You probably do because you played for the U. Restrepo for Miami. The U. That I love that.
Love that kid. Love that kid.
He's like a Julian Edelman the second.
He is.
And same build, same frame. 5'10", 185 pounds.
Receivers. He's the all-time leader, right?
Right, and that's someone you could easily get at the top of the second round. So I think if they get that alpha, pair him with DeMario, get a guy like him too, I think May will have all the weapons he needs. But to answer your question, yeah, Seattle's in trouble. If he wants out, Geno's out, who's going to play quarterback in Seattle next year? Are they going to get Sam Darnold? Are they going to?
Let's go to Seattle.
That's probably the best place for Sam Darnold right now.
I would agree.
Kirk Cousins maybe is another one, but I don't think Atlanta wants to move on Cousins just yet with the money they paid him. Obviously, you're not going to see Russell Wilson back there because that's just not going to happen. Who else is left? They go after like a Daniel Jones. They go after. I mean, it's tough. I mean, who are you going to draft too? I mean,
right. Seattle's in trouble. That's for sure.
They pick 18.
You know what? I find it very. I like the fact that Pete Carroll wants his boy back, Geno Smith, who he resurrected Geno's career at the end of the day. Yeah. And so that's what I love about Pete Carroll. He sticks with his guys at the end of the day.
Yeah, he does. He does. Who might be a good quarterback for them? Because they're not going to get Ward or Sanders at 18. In the second round, though, when they pick in the second round at 50 or whatever it is, I think you could go after someone like a Jackson Dart. Maybe at 50.
I'm here for my New York Giant buddy. The Giants are all over him early on. They might take him before if it's him or Shedeur, they're taking him.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
So
I don't think. I mean, the Giants. If the Giants have their second round pick, they're picking at the top of the second round too. So maybe they could get. Start there.
Yeah, they could take him in the second and they pick a better quality talent at the first. I agree with you.
Yeah, I don't think Dart's a first rounder, especially it's that high in the top 5 pick.
He is a very talented quarterback, though. I know he hasn't shown a lot in college, but the kid is very talented and he's mature. He's like 24, 25, which much like Bo Nix, right? And you get all the physical skills. I believe he throws the ball better than Shedeur Sanders all day long. I'm sure he has a stronger arm, much better athleticism. So I actually like the thought.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see, man. All right, anything else you want to add before we wrap up?
No, free agency starts on Monday, the 10th. So it is free agency frenzy. I mean, if you watch, football networks and things like that, you can watch the NFL Network. Their coverage starts in the morning. It runs all day long on the free agency frenzy. So a lot of moves are going to happen next week. It'll start to shape these teams. Start to see the odds shift in Vegas like by the minute with these acquisitions. So it's fun. It's a fun day of
And then we
football.
got March Madness coming up. We'll talk about that too, right?
Yeah, we got March Madness. We have the start of the baseball season. We got the hockey and NBA playoffs starting in April. Like things are going to start heating up here on PBnZ.
It is, man. All right, man. I'll talk to you, PB.
All right, see you, man.